everybody. It's Bob Crowdy. I'm back. I'm here today to talk about what many of us are experiencing with this coronavirus, but tying it into politics and the election in 2020. You know, I had more than one video now that I've talked about how I don't believe that 2020 is going to be a cakewalk, a red tsunami, or there's nothing that from my decades of political experience, as I've highlighted over the years, that tells me that we're necessarily ready for 2020 or we're taking it serious enough. There was nothing from the data from 2018, 2019 that makes me think going into 2020 we are taking this election serious enough. So I've presented my concerns about that over the last 12 months or so, and I'm going to continue because it's important. This is one election we do not want to lose. So as a political consultant and strategist and organizer, the things that I'm seeing here that's so concerning is that this coronavirus ordeal in our country and the economic fallout from it could change up the situation. It changes the equation. And some people who don't have a political background maybe don't really think about that or think about how that could be. So I want to draw your attention to New Orleans after Katrina. There was a mass exodus of people that left New Orleans. There were statewide offices in Louisiana that went Republican, that were attributed to the less of a population in New Orleans, in Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, and so it affected who won the elections after Katrina, and it had a political fallout. Okay, I have a lot of ties to hospitals, and so I wrote this conversation about 3 days ago, and when I got a text that said the shit's hitting the fan here from the ER, from one of the hospitals. And I have a lot of friends, doctors and nurses and people that I know in the hospitals. I'm seeing it ramp up. I'm seeing the coronavirus ordeal hit a seriousness. And I think that we all know, like in Indiana, restaurants have been closed now. Schools were closed last Friday in Marion County, Indianapolis. I don't know what it's like where you are at, but people are taking it a lot more serious. I was taking it serious a month ago. That's just the way I am. I read a lot. I understand. I analyze. But now that we're all taking this serious and we're concerned about the coronavirus, well, we all should be concerned also about our freedom in this election, because as most people know, we're going to all survive. Most of us will certainly survive this. But what we're going to see happen to the political part of conversation is our aged and more vulnerable people in our country might not survive it. If we have an overwhelming system at our hospitals that they don't have enough beds and ventilators, if you turn on the nightly news, that's a conversation. Some people may not survive, and it may be hundreds of thousands of people. So, back to the video that I produced about I'm not happy, and I'm going to tag that on to the bottom of this video, and that was based from the 2018 election, where we got our clock cleaned. And so what I want to do is I want to draw your attention that this is not going to be a cakewalk. This may not be a red tsunami. This is the fight of the heart and soul of this country. There's a conversation that's going to be happening here. Whether we should give up our freedom for the safety and security of healthcare, it's coming. That conversation's coming. We have a situation with a nomination for the Democrat Party that we don't really know who the nominee is going to be. Because who's to say that Joe Biden doesn't secure the nomination and then withdraw, or some shenanigans with the vice president situation. So I'm not convinced we really know what we're up against with the other side, with our opposition. But let me go back politically to this coronavirus illness and possibly death, and certainly to the people that are aged and have underlying issues. Make sure that you're taking extra precautions, because this is serious. This is a big deal. But here's my point politically. Michigan was won by 10,000 votes. Wisconsin, 20 or 30,000 votes in that range. Pennsylvania, the same thing, 20 or 30,000 votes. All three of those states have been Democrat for decades. They ran Democrat. So the fact that Trump was able to win those in 16 was a miracle in some ways. I mean, obviously a lot of hard work. A lot of people were put into the position of fighting and organizing and getting the vote out. So it wasn't just, happenstance. But at the same time, that went against the natural order that we had seen for decades. Okay? Now you throw in people that are vulnerable, aged, 70 years, 80 years old. These people, on a percentage basis, because I'm a political strategist guy, run Republican, run conservative. Now, I'm not saying there's not a Democrat that is, that's aged. I mean, obviously there are aged Democrats. There are people of all ages. But on a percentage basis, in the world of politics, we run voter turnout on a percentage basis. We run this demographic coming out to vote on a percentage basis. We run the percentages. And on the percentages, every 1,000 people who die who are over age 70 are costing us on a percentage basis votes. Now, the Democrat Party has done everything they can to shake up Pennsylvania, Michigan, Minnesota too, and Wisconsin to get people bugged out the fact that they even supported Trump in the first place. So we could very well be losing some voters, some key voters, just like New Orleans and Louisiana affected the races, the elections thereafter, Katrina. This could affect the 2020 election. I'm warning you now. I'm telling you now that this is going to be the fight of our lifetime. This is going to be for the fight of our freedom for the next generation. And if we're not educating the youth right now about how socialism and how Medicare for all and health care and surrendering our health care to the government, giving the most vital thing we have, our health, over to the government, losing our freedom to the government. If we're not having that conversation now, if we're not making videos, if we're not having that conversation and talking about it, we have to educate a lot of young people right now. And so it's time. It's time to get this fired up and know what time it is. This could be the fight for the heart and soul of our life that is way harder than I think you're thinking. And so I'm trying to prepare you for this. Just like in 2018, I put a video out that was quite frustrated. I've been saying this over and over again. This is not going to be an easy election that we're just going to, Trump's got 4 more years. It's a laydown. It's not. This is going to be a huge fight. All hands on decks. All bets are off. All bets are off. This stuff, the economic downturn, the virus ordeal and how it plays out, all bets are off. All bets are off. And what are we going to do? How are we organizing now? How are we getting ready now? What are we doing now? How serious are we taking this? Right now. Because I'm telling you, we better. Or we're going to lose our country, because this new Socialist Democrat Party, and Joe Biden being a moderate, it's a bunch of crap. This Socialist Democrat Party is out to bury freedom in this country. They're out to take our guns away. They're out to Medicare for all. They're out to put more regulation, to make government in control of more and more of our lives. And then that's not freedom. Socialism, by definition, is incompatible with freedom. Socialism, by definition, is incompatible with freedom. So we need to know. I was born a free man. I will die a free man. We must have this sense of urgency. So I'm going to end this just with the idea. I've got a lot of children myself. I'm having the conversation. Talk to your children about the free system, the free markets. I want to say this real quick, and I'm going to end it with this. I had a daughter one time say, we're going to all die. The coastlines are going to fall into the water because of climate change. And she heard this from school. She's like 17 years old. And the whole thing's coming to an end. And I've said to her, well, we should go socialist over that. And her response was, we have to do something. We have to do something. I said, look, Gabby, look to my daughter. I said, it's the free system that will fix it. It's the free system that will move land across to the places in Florida that might have problems. It's the free system going to this coronavirus. It's the free system that they'll generate the cures, that will mass produce ventilation systems, the ventilators. It's the free system that is innovative and will fix the problems of being in the dark, like Thomas Edison did. We must defend the free system at all cost. God bless America.